Welcome friends for the lecture on sensors and network, that is elective 405. Before starting with this lecture, I will recap what we have learned in the last lecture. So we started with thermistor. So we have seen about thermistor, definition of thermistor. Thermistor is the transducer which converts temperature in terms of a resistance. And there are different types of thermistors like NTC type of thermistor and a PTC type of thermistor as well. So NTC is a negative temperature coefficient thermistor, as the property tells that if the temperature increases, the resistance goes on decreases for the NTC type. And we have seen about the material required to formulate the NTC type of thermistors. And next we have seen PTC type of thermistors. So in the PTC type of thermistor, as the temperature increases, the resistance goes on increasing. So there are the graphs and all. So calculation, beta factor, and we have seen about beta calculations and all regarding the thermistor. Next, we have seen about altitude measurement. So for the altitude measurement, they use a Bosch sensor, that is BMP 180 sensor, and that sensor is having like a pressure measurement sensor. And how we are going to convert pressure into altitude. Altitude is the height from the sea level, and that we have learned in the last lecture. So we have seen again the coding of altitude sensor, that is BMP 180, how we can program BMP 180 to interface with the Arduino, and we have seen about the coding, what are the headers required, and how what are the different formulas to convert your pressure value into the altitude value. So that we have seen in the last lecture. So okay, so we'll now start with the next lecture, that is lecture number 10. So we'll start with this lecture. Okay, so in this lecture we will see about acceleration measurement. So acceleration, there are many sensors available for the acceleration measurement, like ADXL 335 is there, ADXL 345 is there. So again, 3-axis accelerometer are there, 6-axis accelerometers are there. So we are going to see those accelerometer sensors in detail. So what is actually an accelerometer? So accelerometer sensors are the ICs that measures the acceleration, which is the change in the speed or a velocity per unit time. So it is a change in velocity or change in speed with respect to time. The measuring the acceleration makes it possible to obtain the information such as the object inclination or a vibration. So it's possible to detect the inclination of an object and the vibration as well with the help of the acceleration sensor. So mainly the acceleration sensor is available in our smartphone. Whenever we rotate our smartphone, the screen rotation on and off, that will be decided by using the acceleration sensor output. Okay, so acceleration is measured in terms of meter per second square, that is international SI unit for the acceleration. Again, in terms of acceleration, G is also called a unit for acceleration. G stands for gravity. So relative to a standard gravity, so standard gravity 1g is equals to 9.8 meter per second square. So exactly it is to be a 9.80665 meter per second square. Okay, so what is actually a standard gravity? Standard gravity means it is the acceleration of an object caused by a gravity, represents the acceleration per unit time an object falls when it is dropped. So it is the speed of an object when we drop from the hand towards the ground side, and the speed it is 9.80665 meter per second square. Okay, so this is about the relative gravity or the standard gravity, it is known as. Okay, we'll move forward. There are different types of classifications based on the range of the accelerometer sensors. So you can have accelerometer sensors are categorized into broadly two categories. One is low G sensor and second is a high G sensor. So low G stands for low gravity sensors and high G stands for high gravity type of sensors. So again, low gravity type of sensors are also called as MEMS. So again, MEMS is the name given for the low gravity type of sensors, and under the MEMS there are three categories. First category is a capacitive measurement. So this is more popular type by which the acceleration is to be measured, that is capacitance method. Second is a piezoresistive method, and it is a little bit costly method, that is piezoresistive method. And third is a thermal detection method. So there are three methods we can use for calculation of acceleration, that is capacitance method, piezoresistance method, and third is the thermal detection method. Okay, so these are the classifications of accelerometer. Okay, so we'll move forward. So So capacitive type of accelerometer, what is there in the capacitive type of accelerometer? ROHM group of accelerometers are capacitive type developed using the MEMS technology. So MEMS technology is used for developing the capacitive type of accelerometer. The sensor element consists of a fixed electrode. It consists fixed electrode comprised of SI, okay, and working electrode as and a spring. So there are two electrodes available. There is a spring available and one fixed electrode is available. So we'll see in structure diagram of capacitive type of accelerometer. In the state with no acceleration, if there is no acceleration, the distance between fixed and the movable electrode is the same. So you will get some fixed output at the output side. Okay, when there is an acceleration is applied, the movable electrode is displaced, and because of that the movable electrode changes its position, and the change in the positional relationship with the fixed electrode changing the capacitance between the electrodes. The capacitance change is converted into voltage by using ASIC chips and all. So there are different ICs available to convert your capacitance into a voltage used for calculated accelerations. So like this we can get the output with respect to a voltage. Okay, so this is a capacitance acceleration method. So here it is structure of a capacitive type of accelerometer sensors. So we have here a fixed sensor. There is a spring available. Okay, here it is a spring available. Then there are movable electrode and fixed electrodes, and again fixed electrodes. So movable electrode is moving. So in this case, this is fixed electrode, and the distance between fixed electrode and movable electrode is a fixed. There is no like acceleration is applied on this particular side. But whenever there is acceleration is applied, so this movable electrode shifted toward this side. So this distance and this distance is different. Okay, so because of that, it changes the voltage, output voltage, and that output voltage is corresponds to the acceleration on which side we have given the motion for that particular object. Okay, the acceleration sensor ADXL335U. So ADXL335U is the accelerometer sensor. It is an electromechanical device that will measure the acceleration force. It shows the acceleration only due to the cause of gravity, that is G force. It measures the acceleration in the unit of G. So on the earth 1G means 9.8 meter per second square is present, and on the moon it is 1/6 of the earth, that is 1/6 of 9.8 meter per second square, and on the Mars it is 1/3 of the earth. So that's why the weight on the earth is more than that of a moon or than that of a Mars as well. Okay, so because of the gravitational force, the acceleration can be used for tilt sensing applications, as well as dynamic acceleration resulting from the motion, shock, and vibration. Like we have a smart bands, and when we have a tilt like this, so when at that time this is on. So like this, we have the accelerometer sensors available. So when I move my wrist, the acceleration changes, and the program is written such a way that whenever the acceleration changes from this to this side, then there is automatically display on triggered. So like this, we have like on a smartphone as well. Whenever we changes the acceleration, so like the Samsung is providing, like whenever the phone is ringing, and if you tilt the phone like upside down, then automatically it mutes your speakers. So this is the facility they are doing with the software programming, and for that they uses the hardware sensor. It's the accelerometer sensor. So in the phone also there are this type of sensors, that is ADXL335U or ADXL345U. Both the sensors are I2C based sensors. So both the sensors gives the analog outputs, that is X, Y, Z outputs, and that we are going to use. And also there is one more sensor is available, MPU6050, that is a I2C based sensor. So that is integrated sensor. So it's having gyro, it's having accelerometer, also it's having a temperature sensor integrated in that. So many of the phone manufacturer uses MPU6050. So we are going to see that sensor as well. Okay. So here it is ADXL335U. So ADXL335U gives a 3 complete axis acceleration. So here there are total 5 pins. One pin is VCC, second pin is X output, third is Y output, fourth is Z output, and a ground. So total there are 5 pins available, and these pins we are going to connect it to the analog input of any of the controller. The output signal of the module are analog voltages that are proportional to the acceleration. So output signal is will be will receive the output signal in the form of analog voltage, and that is proportional to the acceleration. Okay, output voltage is proportional to the acceleration. It contains the polysilicon surface, that is micro machined sensor, and signal conditioning circuitry on the board. So this having this also represent which side the X is, which side Y is, and which side is Z is. So there is one dot available on this particular IC. We will see in detail data sheet of this IC and what that dot signifies and all. Okay. So here it is a working mechanism of ADXL335U. The ADXL335U is again a capacitive based sensor. So it contains fixed plate, and there are moving plates available. With the moving plate, the spring it is attached. The spring is attached. Due to the motion of the spring, the plate moves, and this C, that is capacitance, will change. Okay, this if the C changes, and this changes the output voltage, respective output voltage, due to the movement of the acceleration. Like this, when there is no movement, this distance are fixed. Whenever there is acceleration from this side, okay, from this side, whenever there is acceleration, the moving plate tilts towards the fixed side on one particular direction, and because of that, it changes the voltage. The basic structure of accelerometer consists of the plates and the moving plates inside this. The acceleration deflects the moving mass. So this is moving mass is deflected. This mass is deflected, and unbalances the differential capacitor, which results in the sensor output voltage amplitude, which is proportional to the acceleration. So this unbalances the capacitance plate, and due to that it generates some proportional output voltage, and that output voltage is proportional to the acceleration. The phase sensitivity demodulation techniques are used to determine the magnitude and the direction of the acceleration. So phase sensitive demodulation techniques are used for detecting or determining the magnitude and the direction of the acceleration. So these are used for detecting the direction and of the acceleration as well. Okay, so we'll see the working of mechanism of ADXL335. Okay, we'll run this. Okay, this is actually one example in that. What are the applications of accelerometer is shown. So this is the car. So for identifying or turning on the airbags or tilt sensors, or for this the accelerometer sensor is used. For quadcopters, the accelerometer sensor is used. For smartwatches, mobile phones, accelerometer sensor is used. So here it is a example how the accelerometer sensors are there. So this is not ADXL335, but this is a sensor from the Bosch, and that is fixed in the car. Whenever there is a huge impact on the front side, the car detects it, and then it turns on the airbags. So on the phone as well, the ADXL335 or this sensor is available. So accelerometer sensor, there is a signal processing chip available, and then there is a micromechanical structure. So this is a capacitor structure. Whenever there is a motion, so whenever there is acceleration in any of the side, so this is a movable structure, and this is a fixed structure. So whenever there is acceleration, this movable structure moves, and due to that it generates some change in the voltage. Okay, so it generates the change in the voltage, and that voltage is measured via this particular connecting devices, and that IC, this ICs are converting that particular voltage into the respective acceleration. Okay, so this is the mechanism of ADXL335. Okay. All right. So here it is a diagram of ADXL335U, how ADXL335 looks like. So it contains, as I told, there are 5 pins. First pin is a VCC, second is X out, third is Y out. So this gives you Y output, third is Z output, and fourth is a ground. So there are 3 capacitors available on each particular output side, that is X output, Y output, and Z output. So there are X, Y, Z is written, and then there is a internal converter is available, so which converts your output into analog acceleration into analog output voltage. Then also angle calculation using ADXL335, we can calculate the angle, we can calculate roll, pitch, and yaw with the ADXL335 as well. So we can calculate the angle of inclination or a tilt by using X, Y, and Z values. Also we can calculate the roll, pitch, and a yaw angles with respect to X, Y, Z axis. The first we need to convert 10-bit ADC into a G unit. So there are different formulas available to convert this 10-bit output into a G unit. As per the ADXL335 datasheet's maximum voltage level is 0Z. and 0 to 0G is 1.65 volt, and the sensitivity factor scale is a 330 meter millivolt per gravity per G. Okay, so here it is a formula to convert your analog output voltage, that is A out is equals to ADC value multiplied by V reference divided by 1024, because it is a 10 bit, that's why it's 1024, minus voltage level at a 0G and divided by the sensitivity scale factor. Okay, so we'll get AX out is equals to X axis ADC value multiplied by V reference divided by 1024 minus 1.65. This 1.65 comes from this. Here it is. For 0G, the voltage is 1.65. Okay, divided by 0.330. Okay, 0.330 is the sensitivity scale factor. So sensitivity scale factor is 0.330. So we need to convert like this. AX out will be by using this particular formula. AY out, again we need to measure here Y axis ADC value, and for AZ out we need to measure Z axis ADC value. The formula is same. We have to note down the formula. AX out is equals to X axis ADC value multiplied by V reference divided by 1024 minus 1.65 divided by 0.330. Okay. Okay, so again we can calculate theta, psi and phi as well by using the angle of inclinations. So theta is the angle of inclination. So here this represents the theta, phi and psi. So this is the x, y and z position. So on this axis there is y, on this axis there is a x, and on the top and bottom there is a z. Okay, so that if the z tilts, so z is a phi, okay, z is phi, so phi is AX out plus AY out square divided by AZ out square. Okay, so this is the equation for a phi. Okay, we can note down this equation. Okay, then right, this is phi negative, this is phi positive. Theta is with respect to x, so this theta represents with respect to x axis change, and psi represents with respect to y axis change. Okay, so you can observe that that particular value is on the top, AX out, AY out, and this about AZ out. Okay, so this is the equations for calculating the angles of angles by using angle of movement by using ADXL 335. Also we can have roll, pitch and yaw. So roll is the angle of rotation along with the x-axis. Roll is said to be angle of rotation along the x-axis. Pitch is called as an angle of rotation along the y-axis, and yaw is called as an angle of rotation along the z-axis. So we can calculate roll, pitch and yaw by using the ADXL 335. Here on the x-axis, whenever you rotate, so this is the angle of rotation along the x-axis is known as roll. Angle of rotation along the y-axis is known as pitch, and angle of rotation along the z-axis is known as yaw. हाँ मैडम, हाँ बोला मैडम. So there are some equations to calculate the roll, pitch and yaw. So roll is calculated by using the equation A tan 2 AY out comma AZ out and multiply by 57.29 plus 180. Also the pitch is calculated by this equation, yaw is calculated by this equation, and you will get tan 2 of y comma x will be by using this particular formula, that is arc of y by x, arc of y by x plus pi and all. So these are the formulas for calculating this particular thing. So whenever you are using a API with ADXL 335, you no need to use the formula, you can directly get the output from that API. Okay. So here it is in connection diagram for ADXL 335 with your Arduino. So here I have connected VCC to the plus 5 volt and ground line to the ground line. X out is connected to the A1, sorry, Y out is connected to A2, and Z out is connected to A3. So here it is, it provides the analog output, that's why it's connected to the analog inputs of the accelerometer. So accelerometer will receives the particular values, and we are going to see that output. So here it is in code for ADXL 335. So hash include math.h. So for mathematical calculations, we are going to use this math.h. Constant in x out. So we are going to measure x out because I have connected x output to the A1. Y out is equals to I have connected y output to the A2, and Z out is equals to A3. So I have connected that to the A3 as well. So void setup serial dot begin. I am going to print all the values on the serial monitor. void loop. So we'll first calculate the ADC values, X ADC, Y ADC and Z ADC values. So these ADC values are the analog voltages that is proportional to the acceleration given for that particular ADXL335. Also we are going to convert that into a gravitational value, XG value, YG value and ZG value. Okay, so these values we are going to measure it again. Also we are going to convert this X, G, YG and ZG values into roll, pitch and yaw. So there are different formulas available and we need to write an embedded C code for converting your roll, pitch and yaw. So how to read that X ADC values? For that the equation is X ADC value is equals to analog read of X out. Okay, because I have connected the X output signal to the A1 and I have configured that A1 here. Okay, Arduino board. Now same Y ADC value I'm going to read again Y out. Okay, and third is Z ADC value I'm going to read with a Z out. Also I'm going to print those particular values, whatever the raw values are there. So serial.println X is equals to X ADC value. Then it gives a tab. After that Y ADC value, again it gives a tab, and after that Z ADC value. Okay, then we are going to convert that into XZ value, YZ value and ZZ value. We have seen the formula that is going to convert your X ADC value into XG value. The formula is multiplying by 5 divided by 1024 minus 1.65 into divided by 0.330. So this formula I have written in the equation. XG value is equals to X ADC value multiplied by V reference divided by 1024 minus 1.65 divided by 0.330. So same formula it's written in the code like this. Okay, XG value is converted. Okay, similarly YG value is converted here. Okay, so in this case we are going to use Y ADC value, and ZG value is converted. In this case we are going to use Z ADC value. Okay, so these three values are converted. Also we'll get roll, pitch and yaw. So for that we are using A tan2. A tan2 is a function. Automatically you will get this particular function from mat.h. Sorry, from mat.h. So this function is already defined there. No need to write that. That's why I told you whenever you are importing some APIs in the code, no need to write full programming. So only the thing we need to implement this by using this particular equation. Okay, roll is equals to A tan2 AY out comma Z AZ out multiply by this value. So this is done here. YG out ZG out multiply by 180 divided by 3.14 plus 180. Okay, so it's a formula for row, it's a formula for pitch, and it's a formula for yaw. Okay, so these things are calculated. Also we are going to printing this roll is printed, serial.println roll is equals to passing the roll here, then pitch is printed, slash tab tab is given, and pitch is printed, and also the yaw is printed. Okay, so like this we are going to use ADXL335. So we'll see a datasheet of ADXL335. So I will explain you what is their internal structure of ADXL335. There are fixed and movable plates, and due to that fixed and movable plates, it's going to do some changes in that. Okay, so here it is. This ADXL335 you'll get it from Analog Devices. What are the features of this ADXL335? It's a 3-axis axis sensor, that is X, Y and Z. It is a low and small package profile. Okay, and we'll take a highlighter. Its size is very short, that is 4 by 4 by 1.85 mm. Okay, and also it is single operation voltage. It's 1.8 volt to 3.6 volt, and it's having 1000 G shock survivals. and it current consumption is very low, that is 350 microampere typically. Excellent temperature stability is the very good feature. Bandwidth adjustment with a single capacitor per axis, and it is ROH compliant, that is lead free compliant. Okay, so this is about ADXL 335. Okay, here it is a block diagram of ADXL 335. So we have here 3-axis sensor. Okay, this sensor is again AC amplifier is there, then the modulator is there. So after that, this demodulated output is given to output amplifier for each axis. So there are 3 capacitors, one is CX, CY and CZ, and you will get here outputs, X output, Y output and Z output. Okay, and it operates from 3.3 volt to till 6 volt, and there are different applications available for this. So applications are like mobile devices, gaming systems, disk drive protections, image stabilization, sports and health activities as well. So this is the thing, and we'll see the packaging of ADXL 335 in the bottom. So here it is an IC. So one dot is available on that IC. So this signifies the top view of the IC. Okay, and okay, here it is. Whenever this dot is on top side, then X out is equals to -1. Whenever this dot is at bottom side, X out is equals to 1. Whenever this top is at this side, then it is Y out is equals to 1, and this side it is Y out is equals to -1. And from this side, whenever it is in horizontal place, G is -1, and it is opposite direction, the G is -1 as well. So like this is going to give the output, respective output at the analog output, that is X out, Y out and Z out. Okay, so this is about accelerometer sensor. We'll come back to the slides. Okay, so this is about accelerometer sensor, how the accelerometer sensor works and all. Okay, next we'll move forward. So how we can interface analog joystick with the analog joystick module. So what is the internal structure of analog joystick module? So applications like game videos and all, so that applications like game videos that requires to change in a cursor position in a 2D plane makes the analog joysticks as an input devices. Analog joysticks produces the 2 voltage levels. So it based on the resistor divider network or voltage divider network. One corresponding to the position of with respect to x-axis, and another corresponds to the position of y-axis. The voltage produced depends on the position of the joystick. So these voltages are dependent on the position of the joystick, where the joystick is to be located, and the potentiometers are connected between plus VCC and a ground, and they are simple, behave as a voltage divider network. So generally the joystick is internal structure of a joystick is having a voltage divider network internally, and this gives you the change in the potentiometers, and due to that the voltage, output voltage will change. So here it is in structure of joysticks. So joysticks looks like this. Okay, its output is X and Y output, and a switch output is there. So there are 5 pins available. Okay, and plus 5 and a ground is available. So at ideal position the output voltages will be VCC by 2. Now corresponding VCC is 5 volt. The figure shown the voltage mapping of X and Y position. So you can observe that this whenever there is a joystick at as a center position, so we'll get 2.5 volt as an output with X and Y. Okay, whenever this tilts towards this side, you will get 5 volt and 5 volt as an output. Whenever this towards this side, that is 2.5 and 2.5. On this towards side, 2.5 and 5 volt, 2.5 and 0 volt, 5 volt and 0 volt, 0 volt and 0 volt, 0 volt and 2.5 volt, and 0 volt and 5 volt. So there are different output levels available. Okay, so based on the X out and Y out, we are going to measure the location on which side you have tilted your joystick. So you can look at this particular joystick internals. So there are ports available, 1 2 3 4 ports are there, and those ports will change respective resistance, and due to that the voltage divider fashion, output voltage will change. Okay. So here it is a pin configuration. As I have already informed, it's having 5 pins, 1 and 5 is a ground, 1 is a VCC and 5 is a ground. We'll have X out, Y out and selection switch. Okay, when you press this, it gives the selection output as a 1. So there is a switch available, X out, Y out and switch is available with the joystick. Okay. So here it is an interfacing diagram of joystick. So you can interface with analog output. So here it is +5 is given, ground is given. So I have not connected any of the selection switch, but I have connected only X out and Y out. So X out is given to the A1 and Y out is given to the A1 and X out is given to the A2. Okay. Now the coding. Here it is a definition of joystick X pin. X pin I have connected to the A2 pin. Y pin I have connected to the A1 pin. Okay, so X pin and Y pin is given. Void setup serial dot begin 9600. So it uses serial communication mode of Arduino. Void loop initial values. So we have X ADC value, Y ADC value here. Then float X volt and Y volt. So these are the output voltages, X volt and Y volt. So how to get the ADC values? X ADC value is equals to, we need to read the analog pin, that is analog read joystick X pin. X pin is connected to A2 pin and Y pin is connected to A1 pin. So again Y ADC value is equals to analog read of Y joystick Y pin. So this we are going to convert this particular volt to digital voltage to a volt. Converted this voltage. How to convert it? X volt is equals to X ADC multiplied by 5 divided by 1023. Again Y volt is equals to X ADC Y ADC multiplied by 5 divided by 1023. Again we are going to print the X voltage. Serial dot X voltage is equals to X volt. Serial dot println X volt, and then serial dot println Y volt is equals to serial dot println Y volt. So this prints the two voltage levels based on this particular graph. So we determine on which particular position you move your joystick. Okay, whenever it is 2.50 on this side, whenever it is 5 and 5 volt on this particular side, whenever this is on this side. So if you consider this is north, then this is south, east and west. So we can have different positions. Okay, so this is northeast, southeast, then southwest and northwest. Okay, so there are different positions available for the joysticks as well. Okay. 8 positions and 8 different output voltages. Okay, so this is about joystick, how we are going to interface the joystick. Okay, so next we will see MPU 6050. It is integrated gyro, accelerometer and temperature and motion sensor. So everything, that is 4 sensors, are integrated in one IC, that is MPU 6050. So it is very popular IC, and it contains gyro, scope, accelerometer and temperature sensor, as well as the motion sensor integrated, or digital motion sensor is there. Okay, so this IC module looks like this, and it is with the MPU 6050, it is a 6-axis integrated 6-axis motion tracking device. 3 axis for the gyro, 3 axis for accelerometer, 1 digital motion processor and temperature sensor is available, and all in a single IC. The IC number is 6050. It can accept the input from other sensors like 3 axis magnetometer, and we can add another 3 axis to get a 9 axis accelerometer as well. So magnetometer we can add with the MPU 6050, so that we'll get a 9 axis accelerometer. Okay, so it's having auxiliary I2C bus, so for that to connect the external 3 axis magnetometer as well. If external 3 axis magnetometer is connected, it provides the 9 axis motion fusion output. So we'll get total 9 axis motion fusion output when we are going to connect the magnetometer with the MPU 6050. The gyro and accelerometer uses X, Y and Z axis are available in 2's complement format. The temperature reading is also available in a signed integer format. So we are going to read the temperature values, also we are going to read the X, Y and Z values. So there are internal registers available on, and with the particular address we are going to read those particular values. Here it is a 3-axis gyroscope. So MPU 6050 consists of a 3-axis gyroscope with a micro electromechanical system, that is MEMS technology. Micro electromechanical system, again MEMS technology is used. It is used to detect the rotational velocity of XYZ. So gyroscope will give you a rotational velocity. When the gyros are rotated about any of the sense axis, the Coriolis effect causes the vibration, and that is detected by MEMS technology inside the MPU 6050. So here it is a rotation. So on x-axis there is a rotary motion, on y-axis there is a rotary motion, on the z-axis there is a rotary motion. So this rotary motion is detected using MPU 6050 gyroscope. Okay. Next is accelerometer. Again, we have just now seen accelerometer with Edexcel 335. The same technology is used in case of MPU 6050. The MPU 6050 consists of 3-axis accelerometer. Micro electromechanical, that is MEMS technology, again used. Micro electromechanical technology is used in the accelerometer. Again, there is a fixed movable plate for capacitance, and movable capacitors are available. Fixed plates and movable plates are available, and spring is available. The acceleration using the axis deflects the movable mass. The displacement of moving plate, that is mass, unbalances the differential capacitor, which results in the sensor output. The output amplitude is proportional to the acceleration. Okay. The same thing, 16-bit ADC is used for gate digitized output. Here it is, there are different motions, so we'll get phi, theta and psi as well. Okay. Also we'll get roll, pitch and yaw. X-axis, y-axis deflection and z-axis deflection, that is roll, pitch and yaw we can get. Also it contains a DMP, that is digital motion processor, and temperature sensor. It is embedded DMP, that is motion processor, is used for computing the motion processing algorithms. It takes the data from the gyroscope, accelerometer and additional third-party sensors such as magnetometer, the process, and it also processes the data. It provides the motion data in like roll, pitch and yaw angles, landscape and the portrait scenes as well. Okay, on-chip temperature sensor output is digitized using ADC. The reading from the temperature sensor can be read from the sensor data registers. So there are different data registers available for each particular values, and those values will be read over the I2C line. Okay, so here it is a pin configuration of MPU 6050. So it's having 8 pins. First pin is INT pin. So INT is an interrupt digital output pin. Okay. Next pin is AD0 pin. AD0 is I2C slave address pin. LSP pin is available. Then XCL is there, that is auxiliary serial clock pin. XDA is there, that is auxiliary serial data pin. So whenever we are using like a second magnetometer with this, we are going to use this particular pins, XCL and XDA. Whenever we are not using a magnetometer with the MPU 6050, no need to use, that is XCL and XDA. Then SCL is there for serial clock pin. SDA is there, serial data pin. Then there is a ground pin available. VCC is there. Then there are two addresses, slave write address, that is 0xD0, and slave read address, that is 0xD1. So there are total 8 pins available, XDA, SDA, SCL and ground and VCC. Okay, now we'll see programming of this MPU 6050 with Arduino. Okay, so we'll have different formulas for calculating the accelerometer values, gyroscope values and the temperature values. So accelerometer values with the g-force can be calculated by accelerometer x-axis raw data divided by 16380 in a grams. So again accelerometer y-axis raw data divided by 16384 gram. Again accelerometer z-axis value divided by 16384 grams. Okay, so these are the values we'll get acceleration. Same, there are the equations for getting gyroscope. Angular velocity of x-axis is equal to gyroscope x-axis raw data divided by 131 degree. Okay, temperature will get temperature in the degree centigrade, will get temperature sensor data divided by 340 plus 36.53 degrees centigrade. Okay, so it is a connection diagram. So only two lines are required. One is SDA and SCL. So I have connected SDA and SCL to the I2C of this Arduino Uno, and then grounds and VCC is connected. Okay, this is MPU 6050. It is a code. We are using one wire protocol. Hash include wire.h, hash include MPU 6050 header is included. Then we create an object. MPU 6050 is an MPU void setup. Serial.begin 115200. It's a baud rate. Then we initialize the MPU 6050, serial.println initialize MPU 6050. Then while not of MPU, whenever we will not get any serial communication with the MPU 6050, it displays could not find the MPU 6050 and it checks the wiring message will display on the screen. Then while loop, so this is the main program where we are going to read the values. So there is a function known as MPU read normalized acceleration. So this gives you acceleration values. So we'll have a normalized acceleration. So we are going to convert that into the pitch. Pitch has been converted into minus of 8 and normalized acceleration x-axis square root of this. So last time we have seen this particular equation. That equation is written over here. Also the roll has been calculated using that equation. Then pitch and roll is printed. Okay, so this is about MPU 6050. Okay, so we'll stop here. If you have any queries or any questions, you can write me in the chat box. I will be available 5 minutes in the chat box. Okay, and also you can join in the Microsoft Teams for next queries and questions.